In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. A viral post about an alleged hate crime in Austin has gotten a lot of attention online. Austin police say an assault near Barton Springs Pool last Saturday is being reviewed by the department's Hate Crime Review Committee. Here's Kelsey Sanchez.
On a hot summer afternoon, people take advantage of the cold Barton Springs Pool always has to offer. But the atmosphere looked different last weekend after Austin police got reports of a brawl breaking out near the spillway. That incident now being investigated as a possible hate crime.
If we determine that a crime was committed and that crime was committed due to someone's bias or prejudice against a protected class, we then report that to the FBI.
Jenny Tomanette works under the department's Victim Services Unit, but is also part of APD's internal review committee that looks into hate-related cases. She says investigators have to determine if the crime was against a protected class.
The protected would be religion, gender, sexual orientation, race, nationality.
Posts on social media claim 3 men harassed and attacked a trans woman and her friends, and say someone who stepped in to stop it was seriously hurt. Tomanets couldn't get into details about this case, but says when investigating any alleged hate crime, everything from video and photos to witness testimony is taken into account.
So we take all that information into consideration when we determine if that crime was based on the hate or bias.
APD says victims of bias-motivated crimes could fear reporting crimes. But Tomanets says their office's focus remains clear.
I think the biggest thing is to focus on protecting the victims and protecting each other.
And that was Kelsey Sanchez reporting. If APD determines a hate crime was committed, they will inform the Travis County District Attorney's Office. The fight over redistricting at the Texas Capitol is getting national attention. U.S. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries traveled to Austin and had strong words about the proposed map. The map draws 5 incumbent Democrats out of their seats to try to create 5 new Republican seats in the U.S. House. Jeffries says that all options should be on the table in the Texas redistricting battle, including the nuclear option of breaking quorum and walking out to try to block a vote on redistricting.
We have to make clear to the people of Texas what's taking place, because it's unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. And as elected officials, we have that responsibility. That's not something we can just brush aside.
On Friday, the House Select Congressional Redistricting Committee will hold its first public hearing since Republicans published their draft map. Well, the tallest tower in Texas is almost complete. We got our first inside look inside Waterline in the Rainy District of downtown Austin. The 74-story building will top out at 1,025 feet when they put up the final beam tomorrow. The mixed-use tower will feature more than 350 apartment homes, 700,000 square feet of office space, a more than 250-room hotel, and 24,000 square feet of retail and restaurant space. The Waterline Tower is scheduled to open late next year. Demolition on the Austin Convention Center to make way for a much larger one is well underway, but one group wants to put a pause on any new construction until voters have their say on it. Malia Masumoto has more.
This is how the Austin Convention Center is looking right now. But in a few years, it could look like this. That is, unless Austinites have a say.
They're not letting us vote on it. That's anti-democratic. This is just a phenomenal waste of money.
According to the city, the $1.6 billion Austin Convention Center expansion project is expected to bring in an additional $285 million in spending to the city annually.
It's that echo effect of meetings and conventions and the compression that, big events have within downtown throughout the entire city.
The project isn't paid for through property taxes, but instead through the hotel occupancy tax, also called HOT. But even so, some locals like Bill Bunch aren't happy that's where the money's going.
If we just call time out and redirect that money to things that actually benefit locals, fit within the state statute, and also bring real tourists here too.
The Austin United PAC started a petition in May in hopes of pausing the expansion project. Now, with more than 18,000 signatures, the group is well on their way to getting the 20,000 needed to either stop it for 7 years or put it on the ballot. And even though the demolition has already started,
In terms of like rethinking what is the best use for this huge swath of downtown, our timing is perfect for that discussion.
He's hoping council will consider asking the public what they want this 6 blocks of land to be used for, but others say the convention center is the best solution.
It's a critical economic driver, not just for our downtown, but for our entire city. And so I think not having that would be, detrimental to our community.
Austin United has until October to collect enough signatures, but Bunch is confident they'll get it done in the next few weeks.
Especially during this budget season, it's time for them to face reality and cut what is actually harmful to the city.
In Austin, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.
And if Austin City Council sends this issue to voters, it would likely be on the May 2026 ballot. Recycled Reads, the Austin Public Library's used bookstore, may be on the chopping block as city leaders work to approve their $6.3 billion proposed budget. Jessica Cha went to the store to talk with employees about how this could impact the community.
On the shelves and between pages, Recycled Reads, the Austin Public Library's secondhand bookstore, sells second chances.
So the books that the library no longer needs are sent here.
And they take the public's donations too, according to Paola Ferrata-Soto, the store's managing librarian.
Animals, entertainment, we have a collection of sheet music.
All sold at affordable prices.
Most of the books for adults are $2 or less. So $2 for hardback, $1 for softcover, 50 cents for mass market.
It gives customers a second chance to shop for them too.
I love that I can afford to read books I wouldn't be able to get otherwise.
Do you guys know when you're closing?
3 weeks ago, the Austin City Manager proposed a $6.3 billion budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Facing a $33 million deficit, city departments were asked to find ways to save money.
One of the things in the budget proposal is to not renew the lease on this privately owned storefront space.
Terminating Recycled Reads' lease next March would save the city more than $100,000, and maybe more if the budget is approved, according to Baylor Johnson with the Austin Public Library. But even if the store ceases to exist, he says they're still giving the program a new lease on life.
Now, if this change goes into effect, have opportunities to get these materials in the library branches in their neighborhoods.
But customers like Natalie Hill like the store just as it is.
You're not going to get everything all at once at certain libraries. Like one library will have this and the other library will have that, and you just, waste of time.
And it's a community that Ferrata-Soto says people tell her they don't want to lose.
It's not just a collection of books and a collection of items, but it's a community. And so they are upset that this particular community may not be around.
Customers hoping for a second chance. In Austin, Jessica Cha, KVUE News.
And those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.